Hi guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my video quiz for chapters 4 through 7. The first question is, what was the key idea or ideas that stood out to you in this chapter? For chapter 4, it was all about knowing your audience and establishing a connection with them. Chapter 5 was all about knowing your purpose and knowing the point that your speech is trying to get across. Chapter 6 is all about your outline and how it structurally differs from a personal outline versus one for your audience. And then Chapter 7 was all about supporting details. And so that's gathering all your resources, conducting interviews, and all of your supporting ideas that are going to go into your speech. The second question is, what did you learn from this chapter that you did not know before reading it? For chapter 4 was being mindful of the audience knowledge on a topic. I hadn't ever really thought or reflected that the speaker might be more educated on, or rather passionate about, a topic that the audience maybe isn't, and so making sure that you establish more of basic knowledge behind whatever topic that you are talking about is very important. Something I learned from chapter 5 was knowing your purpose, establishing your purpose before you begin writing a speech or a paper, because I think that's really important. A lot of people will just go and dive right into their speech or their paper and start talking. There's no structure. Chapter 6, what I learned was the main structural differences between an outline for yourself versus your audience, because I have always just used one for my audience and then use that personally, but seeing how structurally that's different, how it can be much more helpful if you actually make an outline for yourself opposed to just relying on the one that you made for your audience. And from chapter 7, all about the supporting details. Something that I don't always think about is the counter argument. So making sure that all of your topics and all of your sources are not only building up your credibility, but they also are counter arguing the point that you're trying to get across. Question 3 was, why are these ideas important to public speaking? All of them have to do with how well you relay your message, and so if you are getting that point across, and that's more so from chapter 5 is establishing that purpose, but even with chapter 4, being mindful of the audience's knowledge is very important for public speaking, because that will help with the effectiveness of if your audience understands the point that you're getting across. Number 5, like I had already said, is how well you're getting that point across that you've established. So whether that's to inform, to entertain, to persuade, whatever it might be. For chapter 6, making sure that your outline is personally good for you and really going to help you out is very important, because as a speaker that helps with how you relay your message. And with chapter 7, all about your supporting details, if they aren't credible or if they are counter arguing that your point, your audience is either going to be confused or the speech is not going to be effective at all. Number 4 is, how can they be used in other areas of your personal or professional life? So for chapter 4, just being mindful of other people's knowledge on any topic, because not everyone is interested in the same thing. I think that's something that anyone and everyone can take from this chapter. Chapter 5 is all about your purpose, and I think that is something that is important across the board, not just public speaking, but if you are writing a paper for any class, if you don't have that purpose established, you're going to start rambling. For chapter 6, the outline for you versus your audience, again, if you can consolidate your ideas into something that's more personal and that will work for you, that will help organize your thoughts. And then from chapter 7, gathering your information and making sure that you don't have a counter argument. I think, again, this is across the board, whether you're having a discussion with a classmate or a family member or a friend, as long as you can be able to look back and reflect on maybe how they're perceiving the conversation versus just your point of view. And the 5th question is, read the lecture material and other information for the week and discuss the key ideas and concepts. I feel like I've done a pretty good job hitting chapters 4 through 7. One more thing about each chapter. Chapter 4 is really about connecting with your audience, so establishing common ground, which is really important. Chapter 5 is a lot about organization on top of knowing your purpose, and so being able to conduct a proper introduction and conclusion to be able to wrap everything up and introduce your topic after you've established your purpose. Chapter 6, with that outline for you versus your audience. For you, it needs to be much more brief and consolidated, but the audience, you need to have proper punctuation and grammar. And then Chapter 7, preparing and conducting an interview properly is something that was discussed. What to wear, what to dress, what questions to ask, all of those things were very important and key ideas and concepts for these chapters. And so thanks for listening, guys. That is the end of my video quiz. Bye.